I want to say to the legacy media, I told you so, although no one was listening to me, so it doesn't really matter.
No, we had like, what, 500 people watch it? But now there'll be more now that they've seen this one. You'll go back and watch that one, right? Right? Yeah.
Yeah, check it out. I don't know,
What's up, everybody? But hey, did he tell you? Did we call it? Did he tell you? Did we call it? I'm going to say yeah. Greg's math was spot on. And when he told it to me, what did I say? I said, I concur, sir. I agreed with all of his numbers. And what did it turn out? We called it. Okay, Greg, let him know. Tell him something.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to get cocky. I mean, just call me the best prognosticator who've ever lived. No, I'm just kidding.
That does fit in line with Trump. I'm the greatest ever.
I am the greatest. I called it. My math, perfect. Other people's math, not so good. Look, I won. If you look at the numbers, I won by 12 million votes. 312 to 226. I did call it. I do want my flowers.
What did you call it to be?
So my prediction is Trump is going to get 312 electoral college votes. To Harris, I think it's going to be like 226. That's my official prediction.
Oh, so you called it spot on. Spot on. Did you hear that, everyone? Spot on. Not like within a margin or two of error of a point or two. Spot on.
Nailed it. I just thought there was a lot of data. I thought the data was clear.
It was freaking clear. Every time that an election happened, since we have multiple ones with him in it, he was always 6 to 7 points behind. That shows that it's BS.
It's roughly. So each state had different margins.
Well, each state, I'm talking about as a whole across the country.
Yeah.
I'm going with the whole number.
He always outperformed polls. He did horribly in polls.
Why in the last video. Go watch.
He did horribly in polls against Clinton and Biden, and they were close elections. He won one and lost one. And this time he was just flat out ahead in a lot of polls. So just using all the math and put it in every state, it just looked like he was going to win them all. But anyway.
By a lot.
He's the president-elect.
Yes. My issue with this election, just like my issue with 2016, was the way that everybody just melts down. Now, don't get me wrong. I know first thing that people say in the comments, if you're on the left or whatever, again, I don't give a shit what side you're on. I like having conversations with people. So we'll leave that there. But as far as the left people will say, when I say things like, you guys are losing your minds with these freaking videos, I'm saying chicks shaving their heads. Crazy, but you'll go right into, you guys didn't handle it well. Look at January 6th. Okay. I get what you're saying. They did have a stupid moment. There was a lot of peaceful people there. There were some jackasses there, which happens everywhere you go in life. I'm just saying. But as a whole, the way people have acted after this, wow. Have you guys seen?
I mean, yeah.
Queen first point, I would have to say, me being me, I've told you guys I lean more right. I am definitely middle guy, but I definitely lean more right. It's kind of obvious, duh. But I wanted to go see what the women of The View had to say about Donald Trump getting elected. And I will say this, besides Whoopi saying,
he's now the president, I'm still not going to say his name.
Besides her saying that, they were kind of being a little decent, I'm going to say, more than I expected them to be, until we come to Miss Sunny Hostin. Ugh. Why does she got to just be that way? Why can't we just get past the bullshit rhetoric? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so Sunny
it's his last time in office. He can't do anything else. He's not running again. Why not just try to come together and say, screw all the BS. We need to be a whole again.
So Sunny Hostin, she is like a small microcosm of what everything the left media is doing. What she's doing is she's not actually listening to the argument, right? So the people on The View made their shift because Trump won. He won the popular vote, and he won the Electoral College pretty convincingly. So people have to ask themselves, why did people vote for Trump? And actually come to the table again and listen to the arguments and stop responding in a way where it's just an ad hominem. You're a racist, you're a sexist, you're a misogynist, you're this, that. You have to come back to the table and have the discussions. You have to do it. You got people in the media on MSNBC like Joy Reid saying,
Dude,
just any one of her, any one of her, diatribes about Republicans by any other race of human being would consider extremely racist. I have no idea how she exists in that space. I mean, you could just pull any Joy Reid clip up. Trump won. People are not listening to that argument anymore. People don't want to hear them. People don't want to be called names as soon as you try to make an argument. So
you're a racist, you're a misogynist, you're all the above, all the crap, and it is constant. And everybody I've talked to of every race, creed, color, whatever, all say the same shit. Everybody's tired of it. It's tired of trying to push a BS narrative on us and making us think that if you don't vote with us, you're against us. Like, that's what kind of drawing the line in the sand shit is that? But just so in case anybody didn't hear, let's hear from Ms. Hostin herself.
I don't know. I'm profoundly disturbed. I think if you look at the New York Times this morning, the headline was America makes a perilous choice. I think that in 2016, we didn't know what we would get from a Trump administration, but we know now. And we know now that he will have almost unfettered power. And so I worry, not about myself, actually. I don't worry about my station in life. I worry about the working class. I worry about my mother, a retired teacher. I worry about our elderly and their Social Security and their Medicare. I worry about my children's future, especially my daughter, who now has less rights than I have. And I remember my father telling me many, many years ago that I was the first person in his family to enjoy full civil rights. And now I have less civil rights than I had when he told me that. So again, I'm profoundly disturbed that the 14th Amendment of the Constitution did not prevent someone who participated in an insurrection from becoming president of the United States. I think that going forward, the convicted felon box on employment applications better be taken off, because if you can be the president of the United States,
that's the only point that she makes that's kind of fair. I agree.
Be prevented from employment in this country,
depending on the felony.
I remember applying for my job as a
Yeah,
federal prosecutor, and there was a box
Absolutely.
for convicted felons.
Well,
and so that box.
So yeah, I personally think that she is lost in the sauce, drank the Kool-Aid of the left, and believes every bit of bullshit that you can possibly believe. To say that her daughter now has less rights than her, that's what? Huh?
So we got to call it.
What rights?
Well, there are rights that were lost. The abortion rights in certain. So you got to call it abortion rights in.
It's been left up to the state. That's nothing's changing with Donald Trump being elected. That's been the way it was, and it's staying that way.
Right.
Has
I get
nothing
it.
to do with this election.
Right. Well, it does in a way, because the left is running on bringing it back. So right now,
well, I agree.
Right now, I don't have the map, but there's a certain amount of states where abortion is banned, 100% banned. Okay, so like Texas and other states, I forget how many.
There's still medical reasons why they'll do it, though. They're not. It's not fully banned.
Well,
like if to save the life of a woman, they'll do it.
Right, I get that, but as far as an elective choice, I'm just leave it.
Okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Okay.
Besides the medical risks, which everybody debates that stuff. As an elective choice, we're leaving out the exceptions. We'll call it the exceptions. As an elective choice in a certain amount of states, it is banned in the United States. Mm-hmm. And in other states, it's severely restricted as far as like 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever. We're not talking about that in particular, whether you agree with that or not. I believe abortion is a very nuanced topic. And the problem that we have nowadays is no one's listening to each other's arguments. The left is becoming very self-righteous in their stances. They don't want to hear the opposing argument. They just want to sit there and say, like, no, you're a misogynist, you're a racist, you're a sexist, you're voting against women's rights. Here's the deal. There are good intentions on both sides of the aisle. People have different levels of things that they're worried about right now. People who are worried about putting food on the table and not spending money on the amount of money they are in groceries in the future are not thinking about LGBTQ rights right at this moment.
That's a fact.
There are
it's a fact.
So what I'm trying to say is everybody has to come together and be able to talk again. You know, the far left media, MSNBC, Joy Reid, people like this, people like People on the View. You're not listening. Donald Trump won The majority of people voted for him, whether you like him or not.
By historic fashion.
And we have to ask ourselves why. And you have to listen. You can't just go,
That's absolute fact.
To pretend that this country, and let's take the LGBTQ rights we'll take this an example. First thing I want to acknowledge is LGBTQ. They have made we've made improvements as far as like the gay community and everything in over the 30 years of the United States. We've made a lot of improvements when it comes to inclusivity with LGBTQ as a whole. The only thing that I hear people talk about is gender affirming
men and
care.
Women's sport and men and women's sports.
Right. So many people on the left has taken this self-righteous claim with the whole LGBTQ trans rights thing, but they don't realize that most people with things like gender affirming care and trans women or whatever, men who become women playing in women's sports, most people are against it. And you just have to listen to that. Just at least everyone sit there and say why. A lot of people has left the left. Right. A lot of people left the left for that reason. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I agree. Absolutely, yes. They leaned more right because of that topic. That's 100% true. But I got to say, like I was trying to get to earlier, the lefties will say, what about January 6th? But I will say in return that I have never saw a conservative do this.
Well, the January 6th thing, in my plain opinion, the January 6th thing is bad, and it's a stain on Trump, and it's never not going to be a stain on Trump.
I agree. I agree, and you could say that, and I do agree with you. Like I said, and that's going to be the argument against this, but there's just differences, and if you see the differences, then you know what I'm talking about.
I'm sorry. No. Why? Do you really hate me that bad?
I almost feel like that first one is manufactured a little bit, almost like she knew the viral freaking out clips would happen, so she went to the car and just made one and thought
That's fair.
Oh, let's just try this.
Fair.
Why? I don't know why she's screaming, but she needs to get back to work.
Yeah, that's right. Now, I will say that one may have been scripted, but this next one, I don't think so. You tell me.
Stop.
Damn. Ooh. Well.
See, that's why I'm recording. Because the cops ain't gonna believe this shit.
Feel bad for that dude.
All of you celebrating a Trump victory before the votes are even fully counted? May I remind you that a lot can change at the last minute. And even if we do fail to win the presidency for Kamala, after all the work I've done for white dudes for Kamala over the last few months,
seen one.
We will return in 2028. Kamala 2028 will be the greatest political comeback the world has ever seen. Not just America, but the world.
There's someone who disagrees.
And I firmly believe that Kamala is still the best person in the whole of the United States
come back
to be the president of this country.
Of all time.
And if we band together now, if we pull back
what is he talking about?
some of those white dudes who went for Trump this time, by growing the White Dudes for Harris campaign, we can make a permanent change. We can put the
I don't mind all. I mean,
away.
This isn't like
no, hold on. It's how it ends.
And I'm dispirited. I am dispirited by what has happened, but
you spoke too
we
soon.
We can't
bro.
just give up. We can't just stop now. It's so close. It was so close.
It wasn't close.
It wasn't.
There is a term for that.
There's so much hate in this country.
Landslide.
So much hate and misinformation.
I don't even think you fucking assholes realize what you did. Now because you elected Trump in office, I gotta go and spend fucking less for gas, less at groceries, have a savings account that my kids can actually be proud of. We could actually do something with it. I don't know, maybe like a vacation to Florida or something. Who knows? Now I gotta get used to a strong economy, secure borders, no new wars. What kind of shit is that? Make America great again.